Thank you. Good cooking. We got ChartMasters here in a second. How are you? I'm good. How are you doing? It's chilly in here. You pretty big house. Yeah. Anybody else out there to provide pricing? Well, we're just going to teach a class to you today. I need it. Good. I do much better one-on-one. Well, ask us any questions as we go along.
It would take me many times coming in here to this, I'm sure.
Well, good. We'll keep on teaching it.
I've heard that it takes several times and several clicks.
Yes.
So I probably will get the first 2 clicks down today, maybe 2.
There you go.
Class. Yeah. But I do want to learn it, so there you go.
Hi, I'll be right back.
You can eat in here. I don't
I
mind.
just need to get stuff.
Okay.
Did you grab anything?
I got a brownie.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Brownie ones. Good ones.
Oh.
I got a bag. I don't know where I wrote my bag.
It's never know.
Well, it's one of might need the computer, but I don't think we're gonna need. We need to take notes. So I probably will just take a picture of your notes. Yeah. Secretary here. That's what it's called anymore. Oh, my goodness, I'm full now. They didn't have any. My goodness, that's okay. Yeah. Oh, no, I'm too full. Yeah. Which one is? Every Merrily.
Get some calls.
You're good. It was long today.
Well, yeah.
Me too. Big time. Big time.
Oh,
It's funny because I told Jessica working about that.
yeah.
Working stuff. I was on the KW admin's Facebook page.
Yes.
Which is national, and the whole company. And she said somebody seriously asked them. It's an
For that. There are.
Somebody posted, it said.
Yeah.
Are there any admins in the following offices? And one of them was Keller Williams Legacy, Plano, Texas. And Morgan's like, I don't know anything about KW Legacy, but I'm in KW 20 now. Thank you. That was yesterday.
Somebody already
It
heard
got
about it or knew about it,
Well,
yeah.
we had to get it approved, because we had to go through the region and all that, so.
Yep.
Yeah, the beach.
They said.
I wanted to have a second burger, but stop myself.
I haven't had breakfast, so.
I'm having sushi for dinner, so. I'll have one. Hello. I was like, oh, it's
Rewired and they. So are you official yet? You've taken your class, you passed your license? Good, great. Let's go. I heard Taylor's doing great, they're off to Vietnam.
Vietnam, on the 9th, is what Vietnam on the 9th.
Yeah, so exciting.
I know, I mean, you know, if you didn't live in that part of the world, you wouldn't go to get food, stuff like
I
that.
told Paul I want to hear
23
about it because that's what.
How'd your dinner go?
That's fine.
Sunday.
I've been to Vietnam.
You have?
You're going to,
Oh.
I don't even know where on the land.
Drove him over there, and there, and we checked, you know, check himself in. We didn't know how long that would take. I don't know if he got there and we need to be there at 3 as a city, like, to go back to. He's there 2 days ago, but couldn't, went in, so we decided to be there already. So about 3 places, so I'm gonna sit here, y'all go do whatever, so you can just saying. We're all 7 of us, 8 of us are gonna get together and we're gonna go to one margarita. We ate a little something, drank a margarita, and some video food. And then right then, and said, okay. You get back and sleep all, but I don't wanna go somewhere to go to, we should get that. With access, we need the door. So we went back, so he just ate. Yeah, so they go for a whole week, it was so exciting, I was like dancing.
So he said you ready to make these plans for
Like
Christmas?
literally dancing good.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it that way.
It's really.
And then we were gonna go back in March or here.
You know, she's gonna be so busy yet, too. And then she is doing, her.
Be a ChartMasters day. Hey, good God. Very nice.
So what? Yeah.
Independence, yeah.
Walk up.
I was, very good. She's gonna have it. So then we said our goodbyes.
Oh, yeah.
We don't hear from her.
Yeah.
But I think it's fine. It's all. So we're gonna.
Yeah.
These are stuff on the friend who's there. So. It sounds like kind of the same person. 2 weeks now.
No kidding. And they were. What else? Yeah, just Hawaii is good enough right there.
Everybody at once front.
No, I have not.
Don't put as many insurance.
Got it.
So I can see.
We were just thinking about yesterday.
Just don't be a front row student.
I am.
Be a front row student.
The back. I am a front.
He's like, every meeting, it's like the whole rows of seats.
I found this.
I am. I know. Well, and I'm just doing all my events and stuff like that. He doesn't matter. Get a degree. Don't, whatever. No. It's a good time to boss. Oh, yeah, because I cannot wait until you're in a contract class. Because I would just like to get.
You and Brian may have to.
All right, we are going to be respectful of your time and get started right on time today. Thank you for coming. This is mine and Jessica's second time to teach this now. We're going to be all pros before we know it. And Jessica found, she brought this to the Market Center, which was awesome, with this gentleman, Jeremy, out of Colorado, who does these reports for us now. And everybody that I talked to, and I know more people are coming in because Tommy was just talking about it, but people that are using these in their listing presentations and with buyers too, but mainly listings, I think, are just having great results, being able to have good conversations with their clients. So that's what our goal here is, to just help you guys have good conversations and help you get more listings and just makes everybody happy. So
Anyway, we want to approach the feedback that we got after last month's class, and it was last month, but we were really talking about the first quarter. The feedback that we got after that class was, can you give us more real world examples of how you're using this in your presentations and your conversations? So I've really thought about this from the mindset of how can I use this in a listing presentation, and then how can I use this in what I'm calling grocery store talk. You meet somebody in the grocery store, what is little one-liners that you can just spit off. You had just a couple of stats memorized. So, and then, is it locked? It's locked. Oh.
oh, sorry, you're late. You don't get to come.
I
No rules around here.
know.
There you go.
That sucks. So that's what we're gonna be doing today. We're looking at the second quarter. So April through June.
I think because it's sat for a little while.
Downtown planning.
It is downtown.
Okay. You're teachers. So those of you, I think everybody in here knows me. I've been the team leader now for 2.5 years. And before that, I've been in real estate since 2007. I've done a lot of luxury over the years. That was kind of my sweet spot. I've sold here, and I also had my license in Florida. So I've sold back and forth. I don't really sell that much. I just did a little land deal. I did trust title. I used trust title across the street for it, for my parents, but I kind of just do like my family now when I do sell, but I miss it. So I'm trying to stay involved as much as I can with it. And then Jessica.
Yes, I've been in real estate since 2016. Brad joined me a couple of years later in 2018. And since then we've been building a team. Larry, of course, is on our team. Ren's on our team now. And there's 8 of us now. So we've helped just over 320 families. That's not right. Families.
That's amazing.
Since then. So we've been going right along.
Yep. All right, let's get started. All right, market share of closed transactions year to date. This I like to start off with because it shows that we are still selling more houses than anyone. Keller Williams is. So this is total sell plus list size for sales of detached single family residences in the selected counties combined. So we're talking about Dallas, Holland, Denton, and Fannin, Lamar, Rockwall, Hoffman, and by over double. Close competition with it being Coldwell Banker. So I like going that one. That one's good.
Yes, I like having some of my listing present, the first slides. You add up Coldwell Banker and EXP combined, they're still not doing what we're doing as Keller Williams. So especially if your client is interviewing multiple brokerages, this is a great slide to have.
I don't get to do that. When I recruit, I don't really like to talk about the other brokerages. It doesn't sound as good, but especially what?
They're interviewing mine.
Not even on the
They're
list.
not even on the list. I know. I love that. All right, numbers sold by price range of all selected counties. So this is just showing kind of that our units are, so we're looking, if you can see the gray up here is second quarter of 2022. The red is second quarter of 2023. We're down a bit in units. So mainly, and then over here, the 2 places were up. Is our 3,400.
So this is the same information about units broken down by cumulative monthly sales. So just month over month. And you can see that the dark gray line is 2021, the light gray line is 22, and then the red line is this year. And so you can see that just ever so slightly, we're just down in units, and then it's broken out by month for you.
Jessica had a good thought when we were talking about this the other day about one of the reasons to, thinking about why are units down and why people aren't selling as much was after, during COVID, people started doing cash out. They were doing remodeling, doing things to their home. And so I think a lot of people kind of got into their homes for now. And I think that's why some of our units are down.
I mean, we're going to talk about interest rates a little bit later, but you're sitting on a 3.5% or even a 4.5% interest rate. If you did a cash out refinance, and then you just
build your home exactly how you wanted it, unless you just had to sell for some reason.
Yep.
So that's really the type of sellers we're focused on, is the have to sells. Okay, so this one is really interesting. What you're looking at here is on the top line, these are new construction. And then the bottom, this middle line is resale, and then you have a total. And what better means in this category, the green boxes, is that there's more units selling in the category. And then the red means that there's fewer units selling. So how I use this in the real world is I just went on a new construction appointment. And those, I don't know about you, but I feel like sometimes those salespeople are a little out of check with reality. And I took this with me and I said, well, this is great because there's so many more new construction opportunities available. And this is why you probably are going to accept my offer whenever I come in just a little bit lower than what you're asking, right? Because there's so many choices for my buyers out there right now. Market. So I printed this out, I took it. There's a lot of other charts in the second quarter that have to do with new construction that go into more details. I print those out, I took them with me. And of course, the salesperson had no idea what she was looking at whenever I talked to her about this. But this would be great to show because it's just showing how much inventory is up in new construction. What the salesperson didn't know, of course, was this is only taking into account what's in the MLS. I didn't tell her that part. So this is all that has access to is what's in the MLS.
Any questions on that or how to use it?
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
actually, so do they actually mark it down? I mean, can you negotiate with them?
Absolutely.
Oh, yes.
Like how much do they usually they have
It depends.
some kind of concession they always have.
Absolutely.
So I mean, they offer something, but above that, they do.
Yeah, we make offers for new construction.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, never just go with what they've got. Yeah.
Unless it was 18 months ago, and they were pretty much right.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
yeah.
It's changed.
Days are over, definitely changed something.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Comparison to last year. So as you'll see that this is showing June 2023 versus June 2022, all counties combined. So it's still low overall supply at 1.9 months, the increase in 7 of 8 price range and a seller's market in all price ranges. So we're not at a balanced market yet because balanced market means we've got 4 to 6 months of supply. And so we're not showing that. The closest would be in our 1 million plus range.
Yes, in this 1 million plus range last quarter, I looked up what it looked like first quarter. This number was sitting at 4.8. So last quarter, 4.8 months of supply, this quarter, 3.6, but and that's a big jump first, but still in a seller's market, like you said, Jill.
Yeah.
Okay, I like to take this one with me on my listing presentations. This is what I call the reality check for sellers. Whenever sellers go, well, I'm gonna get multiple offers and 10 or 12 or 15% over my list price. Okay, well, let's talk about what that actually looks like. Because last year is the light gray box 2022. If you were selling between 7 and 800,000, yeah, you might get 5 or 6% above your list price. Well, this year you're getting 98.7% on average. And let's be honest, the numbers don't lie. I mean, I'm not just making this data up. This is directly from the MLS. So likely we're probably going to get right around 98, 99%. And you could probably pull your own team's individual statistics for what houses are selling for in this price range from your team and give them a comparison. For instance, you know, that this is across our MLS in these counties. The counties are up here at the top. You can expect 90% of your list price, but our team's average range. You can give them a comparison.
I like this too, because you're taking out emotion with your seller. You know, you're giving them that data. You're giving them, it's right here, it's black and white and red. But you know, I'm not making this up. I'd love for you to get this. However, you know, what it's showing us now, this is where we are. And so you're not the bad guy. Days on market. This helps manage your seller's expectation. This is what's showing right now. So gray is 2022 second quarter. The red is 2023 second quarter. So those days on market have drastically gone up.
Yes. This would be a grocery store talk. Have a couple of these stats memorized. So you get pulled across the year in the line. First of all, who picks up their groceries at the grocery store versus actually who goes in the grocery store?
I go to the grocery store.
Okay, good, that's good.
Yeah.
Go to the grocery store.
Delivery options.
Yeah, okay, so the people now start going to grocery store.
Totally, I'm going home.
Yeah. Wherever you see people, we're just gonna use that as grocery store.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so as an example, if somebody says, hey, how's the market? And you're, what do you say?
Why you ask?
Great.
Why you ask?
You say it. You say it depends. Are you buying or selling?
Okay.
Yeah. Are they buying or selling? Okay. And then they say, well, actually, I'm thinking about selling. And I've heard that the market's really slowed down. And you say, well, it's funny that you said that because, you know, last year we had 9 days on market as our average, and now this year is 25. However, and then you might pull up another statistic about median sales price, which we're going to get to in a minute. But this is another example.
25 is still so good. When I started in real, like back in 2007, 2008, it would be, you know, you take 6-month listings because you would need, or a year because you would need 6 months. You know, it would be 120 days on market was normal, 90, 120. So, I mean, still 28 at the most, it's still good.
Yes. And last quarter, this number was 53. So, and you have access to all that. I'm not just, I mean, I wrote it down here, but you have access to all this from the first quarter. So yeah, compared to the first quarter, we're doing a lot better. That's great grocery store talk, right?
Yep. And do y'all know where to access these? On the portal. Everybody's going to our portal.
Under Market Center documents.
Well, you gotta go to quick links and then it's market center documents and forms.
Yes, Joe.
These second quarter stats, are they available by city?
Yes.
Okay.
Wait a second. You mean like the monthly report?
Days on market for just for you. Q2,
No, not like the monthly reports.
so it's only the quarterly report is only a combined counties.
We're taking a look at all of it. Yeah.
Yes,
So the monthly one is the one that does have by city.
correct.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, median sales price by quarter. Again, here's your follow-up to your grocery store talk. You just commit a few of these numbers to memory. So even though our average days on market, median days on market have come down, most people think, oh my gosh, so, you know, the world's ending. The average price, median sales price has come down just ever so slightly.
Very little.
So that's year to date. And then that's looking at second quarter, 408 median sales price compared to 430 last year. And then 408 compared to 385 last quarter.
Don't you also have to explain to them the last 2 years has been an anomaly?
I do.
That the prices have come down out of the stratosphere where they should never have been. Now we've normalized or normalizing. So that number not being off that much is actually.
It just depends how long you want to be in the grocery store.
I can go all day long and down every day in that.
We do go to the grocery store. This is wonderful.
This thing comes up.
It's better than.
Costco delivers.
Yes.
So to your point, Dana, from 352 as the median to 408 is actually a 15.9% jump up. And then from 430 to 408 is a 5.1% decline. So we're still ahead 10% compared to 2 years ago.
A lot of people see that number decrease and they're like, oh, everything's going down. And you're
Yeah.
like,
That's actually pretty.
no, it's actually, that's really good.
Yeah.
It looks really good.
And a comment I've heard before is that we're back in the market that we were in 2019,
Yes, I've heard that.
which is
as
still
well.
very good, but it's going off of that meteoric rises that we had in property values.
That just didn't even make sense.
In mind, wait, sorry, the 5.1% that I just mentioned. So from 430 to 408, that's a 5.1. Keep that in your mind, 5.1.
Okay. Should I write it down?
I got it.
Okay.
Okay, 5.1. Here it is, 5.1. So that is the first decline that we've seen. Quarter over quarter decline of any of the reporting periods since 2019.
Depend this quarter.
This quarter is comparing the second quarter compared to the second quarter of 2022. So we're down 5.1% compared to the second quarter of 2022.
Yeah.
So when you see this 22% to 13.9, that's not a decline. What you're looking at here is it's up 22% compared to the 22% that we were up in 21, compared to the 1.8 we were up in 2020, compared to the 2.5 we were up in 2019. So, but this is the first time we've been down since any time on this continuum, but since comparing to last quarter, last year in Q2 is what I'm trying to say.
Does that make sense? Okay.
And then we talked about this last month, but this was COVID. Second quarter of 2020.
Yeah.
Why is the market down? Just, that's a question they ask.
Median sales price is down.
No, why? That's what they ask.
Why is the median sales price down? Why do you think the median
I'm
sales
just
price is
asking,
down?
because that's what makes it.
Why
I think
is
it's
it
a lot of factors.
Yeah,
$3 million sitting on,
that's true, they are.
hold that right.
Well, and the number of price reductions that we have now versus we didn't have any literally almost in the last 2 years, I think affects that number too.
We're gonna look at price reductions in a minute.
And I don't know if people really ask about, if people
The interest rate.
ask too much about median price ranges being down. And I don't know if that's a question.
Yes, why the market is. That's.
Yeah, the market down,
Yes,
the market being down,
yes.
but it's really not, it's not down. I mean, it's just,
fewer units that have sold.
yeah,
The median sales price isn't really down.
it's just not what it was. Second quarter,
Right.
yeah. All right, median sales price history, monthly, all selected counties combined. So this was on the trend line that peaked in 2022. And we're kind of going back up now again, aren't we? Getting above the trend line now.
Yep, we're like right on top of it. This shows you the long-term trend. Okay, speaking of price reductions,
Yes.
there were fewer than the first quarter. So that's exciting. But as you can see, this is broken out by county on this one. So Collin County had 32% of the homes that were on the market experienced a price reduction. In Kaufman County, 52%. So after that, the highest was Rockwall Hunt County at 47%. And then we're gonna break that down even further by price range. Next slide.
Yep.
So you
So
can,
this one, yeah, we had the most at 400 to 499,000. We had the most price reductions.
40%, right?
Yep.
40% in almost, well, basically those three categories, between 300 and 600,000. It's 40%.
Any questions on that? Seems like a lot. Yeah,
It is a lot.
it is, we're doing a lot of price reductions right now.
You can
We'll
see
break it down.
Day trends on net interest right now, there's more price reductions in there.
The sellers still think we're in that crazy market.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's hard convincing them, no, we're not.
But it's so important for us to be pricing right. We were talking about that earlier with how many listings we have in the office and how many pendings we have in the office. We don't have as much. And I think we're still overpricing a bit.
Well, we might be right pricing, it's just the sellers aren't letting us market it. You know, they want, nope, I want to do 520. I'm like, okay, nothing in the neighborhood is sold for 500. Let's go for 520. So sometimes it's a hard seller conversation more than whether we aren't doing the contract.
Right.
Yeah, there's some tools too that ChartMasters has on the quarterly reports. I can stay a little bit after and show you guys on the board if anybody wants to see those. It actually, there's an interactive chart that shows you if the seller has a price in mind, using your example, 520, and you know that it's too high. They price at 520, and how many days is that going to cost them to spend on the market? How much higher, what is your suggested price? And then what's that actually going to cost them in terms of how much are they going to sell under price? Because the next slide we're going to look at is when they do take a price reduction, by how much is it costing them? And it actually does the calculation in dollars, how much of a price difference that's gonna cost them at the net bottom line. And if you take them, but they still don't get it after you've explained all of that to them, you could show them that chart and like show them on your computer. This is how much it's gonna cost you. Are you willing to make this much of a gamble? If so, that's fine. No big deal. We'll do that. But I just want you to know that this is how much money we're talking about. I mean, that's
great
what that tool is
conversation.
there
Yeah,
for.
I'd love to see that.
What's it called? It's in that, I think it's an area comparison report. I can say it.
Okay.
Show everybody.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So when sellers do a price reduction, I like to take this on my listing presentations too. So when they do a price reduction, by how much are they doing it? When the red is when sellers do not do a price reduction, they're getting 100% of the list price. When they do a price reduction, the gray box is how much they're getting of their original list price. So when they do a price reduction, by how much? So again,
Yeah, look at the 1 million. Down 88.9, 1 million plus.
huge.
Yeah,
Just make sure I'm clear. Is that 92% of the list price at the time it went into contract, right? Not
The
92% of the
original.
original list price.
It's of the original.
Yeah, that part.
And sometimes that's flawed too, because it doesn't take into what their actual original.
No, it is,
No,
it's
that
original.
might be-
Oh,
But I'm saying on like the MLS, you might see like when you're pulling comps, they might say 700,000, but they might have started at 780.
yeah, but this chart does take in the original.
Okay.
yeah.
But this doesn't tell you, like on average, how much of a price reduction they're taking, so you can know that of that gap, this much of it's because they dropped the price, and then this much of it, how much they actually ended up with.
Okay, so like on, like between 800 and 1 million. So let's just say it's on the million side, so I'll be able to do the math. Okay, so, on the million side, if they did any kind of price reduction, doesn't matter if it was $1 or $100,000, those sellers on average are getting 92% of $1 million.
Without us knowing if they took a 5% price reduction, so
Or
or
50%.
yeah, we don't know.
Exactly,
We don't know how much. So
Mhm.
part of that's just because they took the price reduction.
any kind of price reduction.
You just have to do the math individually of each list of each hundred.
Yep. Yep, you could do that.
Oh, we would, yeah. So this, we looked at this, we put the numbers, did you put the numbers on yours from last quarter? Yeah,
Yes.
from last quarter to this one. So our price reduction, the overall median of 92 days is 8.4 times 2.7 months longer to sell versus no price reduction. So overall median of 11 days to sell if there was no price reduction though.
Last quarter, this number right here, the total was 102. So not only is it costing you more money to do a price reduction, it's costing you more time. And in this case, 81 days more time. But less time than last quarter.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right, the real story. This one gets you super excited.
I do like this one. Okay, so what you're looking at here is, this is the side of the chart you want to end up on. This is where all the Keller Williams agents like to stay. This is the side we do not want to.
Monument, is that what you're talking about? Got it.
Okay, so in Q2, there were 22,000 closings. And they on average got 98% of the list price and spent 25 days on the market. That breaks down into two categories. One's price reduced and one is no price reductions. So of the ones that did a price reduction, that's 8,000 closings. On average, those people got 92% of the list price and spent 92 days on the market. That breaks down into two categories, previously listed and not previously listed. And so of course, this previously listed category, they spent 168 days on the market and got 90% of the list price. And then the ones that were not previously listed, has spent 41 days on the market, 94% of list price. This is the wrong price, wrong agent, right agent, wrong price.
Yep.
And then of the ones that did not do a price reduction, they on average got 100% of list price. Of course, your seller wants to be there and spent only 11 days on the market. There were some that were previously listed. They actually spent 154 days on the market, close to this category. And the ones that were not previously listed only spent 10 days on the market.
So got 100%.
Right price, right agent.
That's straightforward. That's a good one too, you can take.
Yep.
You take that one in your packet.
Yes, I have before.
So this one's the total failed listings percentage. These are the ones that didn't win. They came off the market. So the gray is the 2022 second quarter, red is 2023 second quarter. So this is the total failed listings percentage.
Everyone on the last slide, Jill, every one of them won. Every one of those sellers sold their house.
Yeah, it's just at what price? Yeah.
None of these people sold. If they did, maybe they relisted at some point, but in this quarter, they did not sell. Now, the next one is really exciting. So let's break this down even further into a group of 100. So out of every 100 listings, 18 failed just by percentages alone. And of the 82 of the 100 that sold, 30 of them did a price reduction. 52 priced correctly and did not do a price reduction. They got 100% of the list price and spent 11 days on the market. And so if you add up the 30 that did a price reduction and the 18 that failed, that means that 48 out of every 100 listings were overpriced. Wow. So I have another,
Nearly half.
I have another statistic for you. So, we're gonna get to this in just a minute, but 40% of homes in the second quarter sold at or above 100% of the list price. 40% sold at or above 100% of the list price. And 53.6% failed or did a price reduction. That's 94% of our market. So that means that only 6% of homes either didn't or sold above list price. Do you know how slim of a margin that is? 6% didn't do a price reduction or cancel. Ended up selling. Good grief. So it's another thing to tell a seller. Would you rather be in the 40% or the 55%? Because one has a smaller margin. We got to get it right the first time.
I think that's a good way to get them to start listening to you. All right, our sales with sales versus original list price. So 2022 again is the gray, red is the 2023. So yeah, there's our total 78.1%.
Last year, yep.
Last year.
How many sold above the list price? At or above. And then this year, 40%. That's where I got that number from. And this number was 26% in the first quarter. Yes, correct.
I'm processing the last slide. That 6% is people that sold at or above and didn't do a price reduction. Is that the margin you're talking about?
No, the 6% that I calculated, so don't tell Jeremy, I just did the math. 6% are homes that didn't do a price reduction, that just sold and also didn't get above their list price.
They just sold at list.
Just, no, under list.
Under, okay, got it,
Just sold under list price,
got it, okay.
only
Understood.
6%. That didn't do a price reduction.
So the red here, days on market for sales at sales versus original list price. So this is the ones that sold over list price, right? Yeah, the
days
red.
on market.
Yep. So all sales is the gray, sales versus original list price percent are the red.
So when they did sell over 100% of the list price, how many days on market did they spend? It was only 8.
Yeah, it says, to correctly pricing for the current market equals a median of 17 days less on the market. Yep.
Okay, this is a long-term look at percent of original list price received. It shows the seasonality. So if you remember, like in December, January, it felt like real yucky, real slow. And this is where the median sales price, was kind of dipping low, and now we're picking back up. Kind of looks like we're flattening out maybe just a little bit second quarter. And then this is your trend line, your normal. Okay, nobody panic. This one's,
I know this one gives me a headache when I look at it, to be honest.
let's break this one down.
Yeah.
So the red line is percent of original list price received. And this is like a timeline. So the numbers on the bottom here are days on market. And then the gray bars here are how many units are selling along the timeline. Okay. So for instance, this is the peak right here, 101.8% of the list price people are getting on day 3. And the most units are selling on day 4, 1,121 units on average sell on day 4. And they're on average getting 101.6% of their list price. And as you can see, the more time that you spend on the market, the more your price goes down. And then the blue boxes down here are the number of price reductions. So you can see that there's a change on day 13 is whenever the price reductions start to pick up. And he mentions that, Jeremy gives us a little tip at the top. He says after 13 and the percent of original list price becomes much more volatile. So at day 13, you can see this little starts to go wonky.
So if you were showing this to your client, when would you say, okay, if we're not priced right, when are we gonna do a price reduction?
Before day 13, when everybody else does it.
Yep.
Especially if you came on the market at the same time as somebody else in your neighborhood did. And then I feel like, I mean, you guys know that the MLS, every 14 days, you're gonna have to do something to come up as new again. So that's probably why most people start to make the change in day 13, 14. But the thing to do to be more aggressive would be to make a change before then, to get ahead of the market.
Any questions on that?
Does this make anybody else's head hurt?
No, it's actually, I will tell you that 2 closings this week. Listing, the contract on day 6, they got 100% of the list price. Buyer closing tomorrow, the house was on the market 56 days, and they got it at 92% of their list price. So, I mean, you don't keep going up to day 56,
Right.
but 92 would be. And so that's 2 recent examples, and those numbers may fit my sample size.
Yeah. I used to always tell my clients if we hadn't received what we wanted, we would do a price reduction at day 10. Yeah, so yeah, I think that's still very true.
Good question.
I mean, we kind of just live in that like 5-day, which actually kind of makes a lot of sense. Like we'll know in the first probably 5 or 6 days where this thing's headed for price right or not price right or activity or things like that.
Question. Yes. This, TRM CEO, like, what's the difference? Sometimes it's a deal in the market.
What was the question? I'm sorry.
CEO.
Cumulative.
Cumulative.
And sometimes they can take off the market and put it again, so they don't show that. Please, what happens if they come out from the market and then put it back again? So that reduction, does it show?
I am not sure. That'd be a good question for Jeremy.
I can tell you.
Okay.
Okay, we're in this chart.
We're talking about the chart or the why there's a gap, which is our question.
I don't know.
Is your question why is
My
there a gap?
question is, yeah, so they've taken out from the market and put it back. That is also as a reduction show that how many days in the market, or it says from the day 0. It goes again. You
The
know what I mean?
cumulative is, if you have more than a 30-day gap, then it won't show the cumulative, it will start over.
I see.
So that is an interesting, because like in here, we don't really know
That's
if it's been off the market for 30 days before you, but not, it's gonna be considered like a brand new listing, it's right, it would be. You're pulling.
Probably, I would ask him, but I would think that this is cumulative.
You would have to go back to every listing and because it's not gonna tell you, you'd have to go to every history and pull it to see if it was off the market for more than 30 days, because otherwise you don't know,
They will not
because it's not in
show.
the cumulative number.
What
I
you're
can
saying
ask
is
him.
you're pulling it from MLS, so it would be the MLS cumulative number, not
You're
with 30
setting
days.
it to both
Yeah.
parts, yeah.
But at the same time, this chart only goes to 30 days. So likely you're getting the bulk of what's actual reality.
Yeah.
Either way, it's a great chart to show a seller
Yes.
a reality check.
Yeah.
All right, seller paid closing costs, percent of total sales by price range. Yeah, more people are requiring seller paid closing costs.
Yes, it's
Due to
about,
interest rates, yeah.
this was about the same as the first quarter, which I thought was interesting. After all the other numbers have gone down, this was about the same as the first quarter. We're seeing this in rate buy downs, could be that as a closing cost credit, it could be repair credit, it could be any kind of course, they don't indicate what the credit was for in the MLS, but yeah, seeing a lot of seller paid closing costs, a lot more than we were last year.
Yeah. We doubled in some cases. Yeah. What does 43.3% mean? It means that
43 of the listing, like 43.3% of the listing had closing costs, or what does that mean?
Yes.
That's what we
And seller paid closing.
And sell, yeah, that percentage of listings had some sort of closing costs, even if it was $1.
Yeah.
And I believe that there's another chart in the quarterly reports that show what the average dollar amount is.
I know it's in the monthly.
Is it in the monthly
For sure.
reports? So we looked at this last quarter, whenever we were running these numbers, so the data on the first three columns have stayed the same, but you're looking at January 2009 compared to March 2019 compared to June of this year. And as you can see, in active listings, we have more choices for buyers in terms of more active listings on the market. We have more buyer competition in terms of we have less supply, half the amount of supply compared to March of 2019. We have a more active market with number of sold units, so this is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
We have higher selling prices, of course, and then we're spending less time on the market, only 11 days compared to 60 in March of 2019. And then we're seeing the median percent of original list price come down, 92.8%. And then we don't have the data for the number of price reductions and number of failed listings, but we have those numbers tracked here. And then mortgage rates in 2009, we were seeing about 6%. In March of 2019, we were seeing about 4.5%. And then I was calculating about an average of about 7% last month. So higher rates in 2009, of course.
Too much though, from 2009. I mean, a lot from 2019, but not from 2000.
Not a lot.
Bad at all. All right. That's it.
That's it. Anything else?
The sales price. I know it's over like 100,000 more median sales.
Same.
Yeah.
Oh, from 2009. Yeah, isn't that crazy? Yeah, because when I start, like, I think Plano was about 250, I think, average price point back in 2007, 2008, and now we're at like 580-ish, right around there. So it's crazy how much it's jumped.
So now we're gonna hand out the pop quiz for all the grocery store talk stats. If you're gonna have them.
No, are you gonna show the calculator that you were talking about?
Yes, I can. Let me log in and I'll show everybody.
I want to see mine too.
What's the Keller concierge, like, what do I get there?
It's portal.kw Plano.
I have to memorize my login, because I just haven't saved them.
Do it by your Gmail.
No. Yeah.
It's not into mine.
Yeah.
Oh.
Log in with my Gmail, my Google email. That's what your KW email is.
Or whatever you got.
The top one, really.
It may be down. I had trouble with 1 o'clock.
Go in and look at Gmail.
You have to change that login.
Yep.
Go to the top, very top.
The very top, that one.
Yep, that.
There you Google.
I know mine's not connected to my Google.
Your
I
KW.
did it differently.
You did it.
Yeah.
Mine is, if you want to use mine.
Yeah, will you use yours?
Yeah.
Will you come type it?
Just Jana Ward at KW. Jana, 93.
Uppercase or lower?
The C is upper.
Thank you, Jen.
So we're gonna go over here to quick links, market center forms and documents. And then all of your chart masters are right here. I'm gonna click on Q2. And if you'll give me a little bit of grace here, I gotta find this report. I think it's in. It's not in that one.
This is a monthly.
No, the one I'm looking for is quarterly. Okay, it's right here. So when you go, is this download, like where I can click on?
Page
It's
30.
page 30 and 55. What was the initial site you went in?
Okay. Okay.
You did the control plus, it'll zoom in for you.
Well, you should be able, does this computer have Excel? Does I need Excel?
It should, it's got,
Yeah, there's Excel on the top there.
Google Sheets.
Something like down. Need to download the Excel.
that's your trick.
You talk it through without doing it, or does it? Gonna exit out of this and go.
Explain that demonstration was already there.
Well, no, because it needs Excel.
Not like you clicking in.
Yeah. I need this to download.
It's okay. I remember.
I thought, sorry, you can try to print it.
It's new printers in August. I didn't see them.
Say this week, say this week.
When you click the folder, it'll pop up in the. Recently.
It's not popping up.
Nice.
Brenda's a computer expert. You would let her figure it out. It's an idea. Yes, saw you coming and.
It's scary, right?
But why won't you click on it now?
I think you did a PDF and I think you have to do it in PowerPoint.
How do I say this as a PowerPoint?
It's when you first click in, it's gonna ask you which version you want to pull up.
But where's the portal? Where's the portal?
Go back to the entry of the portal.
Where is it?
It's
Disappears.
the board.
You'll have to retype it.
I got beamed up by Scotty. Don't mess up my whole site now. I'll be a monument in a few minutes. Okay, great.
Doesn't even give me an option.
It doesn't give them.
It's weird. That must be we need to talk to somebody about how to do it, but okay. All right, so I'll do my best to talk you through this. So when you are going to. Where did it go?
It's right there. You just were page 30, go down. It was 30, right there.
Okay, so what you're gonna wanna do is download this thing as a PowerPoint instead of a PDF. When you do that, you should be able to click double click anywhere on this thing that's not doing it because it's PDF, and it will open up Excel. And when you do that, you're gonna be able to see this little drop down and you get to select the county. So Jana, where's your listing that the 520 listing that you wanted at 500, they wanted at 520?
Oh, I was just making up a number.
Okay, well, let's go with 375 because that's what this one is.
I have a new one coming up. They want 410, I want 380.
Okay, let's say that they want 375 and you want 350. Let's look it. Let's say it's in Custom County. Let's say it's even it. Let's say it's in Collin County. So you would click this drop down, which you would have in Excel, and you would select Collin County because that's important because it goes off of whatever data your county is in. And then everything that's yellow, you can change. So in this case, you could double click in here and put the seller's desired price, in this case, whatever, 380, whatever number, and they put in 375. And then the other boxes here that are not yellow are pulling data from the charts in that quarter that are going to prove your point. Okay, and then in yellow on this side is your suggested market price, in this case, 350. And you come down here a little bit further to the monthly carrying cost. You could be sitting there in your seller listing presentation and say to them, how much are your utilities here every month? 450. Okay, great. Type that in there. Type it in this yellow box. How much are your insurance, including your taxes and maintenance? Well, it's 500. Type that in there. How much is your mortgage? It's 1,900. How much are your other housekeeping, yard, pool, etc.? And then it will calculate your total monthly carrying cost. So then it will do the math for you, and you can tell them that if you price at 375,000 and it's too high of a price, you are likely to get 91% of your list price and spend 173 days on the market, based on the data we have from this quarter. If you price at 350,000, the suggested price that we've come up with today, you're likely to sell at 100% of your list price, which is 350, and spend 10 days on the market. So even though that's $25,000 lower than your price, you're actually going to net a $7,625 higher price and spend 163 fewer days on the market, which is a total of 5.4 months. And then you add up all of your carrying costs for that 163 fewer days spent on the market, you're going to net $25,000 more in your pocket. Would you rather do that?
How great is that sheet?
Yeah.
That's such a great tool.
And you're not even throwing out the inconvenience of all the shows.
No.
Okay.
I haven't even put it, you can't
How hard is it?
So you want to download this in PowerPoint and you can it's interactive.
I've had this come up in a listing presentation where I've said our team stats are, we get 105 or 104% of the list price, and someone said to me like, oh, well, that's only because you're pricing them too low. You're just padding your stats. And I was like, let's go to this. Let's talk about that. Played out that scenario, and going at a lower price actually got them, higher than what they said they wanted. And it takes the emotion right out of it. It's like, this is stats, it's data. I'm not here to compete against you. I'm here to tell you what the market's doing.
That's why I love these.
Yeah, it takes, like, if you're worried about, like, it's not, I mean, it's the, it's where I'm looking for, like, not the conflict, but the rebuttals. Objections, yes. That takes a lot of it out of play when you're showing them actual numbers.
And how smart do you look? Like when you have that here, let's show that. How many other people are doing that? Let's show you exactly.
Only when you can log in.
Before I go.
Other people.
Yeah, that's right.
Couple chats, there's only some houses that are.
Right.
Stick with that number.
I have Excel.
I think you answer that.
Yeah, so with the slides, you get all of this on the portal under ChartMasters reports, and you'll see the quarter two, which is what we just did.
Under quick links and then market center forms and documents. All the ChartMasters reports are here. And then I'll get with Angie and make sure that the PowerPoint is available for download in here.
Okay. That'd be great.
And there's a lot more information. We just kind of hit the highlights today. for a quarter or two, but if you want to do a deeper dive, you can, but I think this is a good start.
Yeah, because I think otherwise you can get a glazed look if we bring too many charts in here.
All right.
Thank you.
Yes,
It's awesome.
Quarterly or monthly? It's quarterly.
Which thing? He said, are we gonna just keep it quarterly or do monthly?
I think we switch it up. We wanted to do quarterly this time again because they just came out. And then I think next
Yeah,
month
we
we're
can
gonna do
do
monthly.
And yeah, monthly and it's big specific cities.
Sure.
Oh, we can absolutely do that.
Good.
Thank you. Thank you all very much. Thanks. When you're so dark, right there. Oh my gosh, I haven't been out in the sun. Yeah. How's your foot feeling? Getting better. My brace. Yeah. Trying to hurt before I get back. Yeah. Good. But it's okay. All right, I knew you were gonna say.
for the 60 days I walked around, they told me it was for I feel this.
I just want to make sure. You know.
Well, sign up and then probably, okay.
Thanks, ladies.